tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
All right, welcome to Tinfoil Hat, live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Studios. Go to samtripoli.gold, use the promo code TINFOIL, and get in on the precious metals game for as little as $50 a month. That's it. Today, we're going to get into a lot of stuff. We're going to be discussing tech. We're going to be discussing the internet. We're going to be discussing the powers that be. And I'm very excited to have our next two guests on. He is a regular on this show. He's been on it many times. He's probably in the discussion of most times. He has taken over the Activist Post, Natural Blaze, and we're very excited. His podcast is called Macroaggressions. Welcome back, one of the most fit men I know and one of the best people I know, Charlie Robinson. How are you, Charlie?
Thank you, Sam. I'll be seeing you in a couple days.
Yeah, dude, I've been able to chop it up with you what will be at the end of the week 3 times, and that is called a blessing. He has a new phone, and it's maybe not new, but it's new to us. We're very excited to talk about it. It's, my whole thing is like get decentralized as much as you can. I talk about with Prometheus websites that I use for my website, and we have a phone here. It's called a Bub phone. Please welcome to the show, Hakeem Anwar. How are you, brother?
Hey, Sam. What's up, guys? It's good to be here, and blessings to everyone who's watching.
Thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate it. Mark's been talking a lot. Mark the Booker is talking a lot about the show. I know, Charlie, you thought there was a possibility that Mark had been fired. I talk a lot about it on Doom Scrolling. We just keep him on his toes. That's the whole thing.
I just heard Mike say something about it, and I thought, oh, shit.
Well, no. We love Mark. We just have to keep him honest once in a while. Hakeem.
He's very dishonest if you don't. I know that.
No. He's not. He's going to lose it. He's great. We occasionally just have to let him know who's daddy. You know what I'm saying? Hakeem, for those who may not be familiar with your phone and with you, because we all know Charlie, real quick, before we get into Hakeem, because I know it's going to be a little longer conversation on that, but you got a lot of stuff going on. Charlie, why don't you tell everybody the updates and all the stuff you're working on?
In January 1st, I bought Activist Post and Natural Blaze in an all Bitcoin transaction. The guys who ran those two websites for the last 15 years reached out to me during the summer of 2024. And said that they were ready to move on and do something else. And they didn't want to get rid of the sites entirely. They wanted to make sure they were in good hands. And they've been, Activist Post is an independent news website. They were part of the Disinformation 200 back in 2016, along with WikiLeaks, Zero Hedge, and the Free Thought Project that were banned or suppressed, had all their advertising ripped away from them. So they've been posting subversive content that, is right up our alley for a long, long time. I've been reading Activist Post for 10 years, talking about it openly, about how I consider it a great resource for when I'm doing research. And the owners reached out to me and said, would you be interested in buying the company? And I said, no. And then about 2 days later, I thought about it and I said, well, actually it's a perfect fit for what I'm doing, writing books, doing the podcasts, and this gives me an opportunity to reach out to people daily. So I said yes, we signed everything, we rebuilt Activist Post over the tail end of 2024 and launched it on January 1st. So if it's the first time you're hearing about it, I suggest you take a look, add it to your media diet, your information resources, bookmark it. If you're somebody that gets it on your phone, I did not build an app, and Hakeem will be able to explain why I did not build an app in the app stores of Google and Apple. But I didn't want to centralize control into the hands of those guys. We know that what had happened with Zero Hedge, so If you're interested in getting it on mobile, just open up a browser, go to activistpost.com and bookmark it, or naturalblaze.com for your alternative health. And it's been fantastic. I've been the editor now for the last 3 months, and it's great. We get to republish articles from courageous journalists that are writing about things that are actually happening. Be like getting your news from the future, because we're talking about things that are important now, as opposed to the mainstream media where they'll cover dangerous topics once they're no longer dangerous 3 years from now. So if you're looking to get your news from the future, and of course our audience, we know what they like. You go to activistpost.com. The only person that would be censoring anything would be me. And I'm certainly not going to be doing that. I added a podcast section to it. I added a crypto section to it as well. I realize not everybody gets their information, through the written word. So if you're somebody that wants to listen to a podcast, I've got a bunch of them on there. You can check it out. And Hakeem and I are also both members of a group called the Independent Media Alliance that was started last summer by Whitney Webb, Derek Brose, and Ryan Christian.
Good people.
And this is a great platform for people to see all of their work in one place. If you're interested in finding out more about it, on the Activist Post homepage, if you scroll to the very bottom, there's a link that says Independent Media Alliance, and you can click on that, and it will show you a list of everybody that's a member of it, and link to their website. So if you're looking for outstanding information from journalists that actually give a damn about what they're doing, that'd be the group. So
I don't know how you have all the time, buddy. You're just like, Charlie, a lot of us are wild people, like in this space. We're very wild people. I don't get that from you, dude. You're a very focused man. It's like so crazy that you chose this path. It's so funny. I mean, you're so great at it. Obviously, we're very lucky that you do it. But it just seems like you could have done a life that you didn't have to deal with all the chaos and all the censorship and all that stuff.
I've done that though. I've had the traditional normie job. I've worked in real estate for 25 years. I've never been happier doing this.
Well,
suppressed 100%. Yes, we're completely suppressed. I wouldn't even know what to do if we weren't suppressed. But the mission is important. Getting this information out to people is crucial. And so I wake up every day with a purpose. It's not about making money. Obviously, I want to make money. I need to live, but it's about the mission. Really, it's about connecting people with information that I think is relevant. I mean, it's like when I came across this information, 15, 20 years ago, it changed my life. I know what it can do for people that are struggling, that just want, I don't know. I don't need the news to tell me how to feel. Just tell me what's going on. I'll feel however I want to feel with the information. Just give me the information, and then I'll make up my mind how I'm going to feel about it. But that's obviously not what the mainstream media does. They want you to to act a certain way based on the information. We're not interested in that. I'll lay it out here for you. You take a look at it, you read it, or you listen to it, or however you consume it, and then you go on about your day and you figure it out from there. I mean, it's up to you. And of course, I've filled it with sponsors that are relevant to what we're doing. Above Phone is one of the sponsors there. They're a sponsor of Macroaggressions as well. So we don't need to be the biggest news site out there. We just need to be the best. And these guys laid a great foundation over 15 years, and we're just building upon that. And so, Sam, I've never been more motivated to get up in the morning and do what I do than these days right now.
Well, you're great at it, and I appreciate the hard work you do. And yeah, man, anything I can do to help, I'm here for you, buddy. And
appreciate it.
You're also part of the amazing show Union of the Unwanted, which I think is like one of the best conversations on the internet. And it brings all the savages together, and you get a really great conversation. Sometimes some people can dominate here and there, and that is what it is. But it's not a bad thing. It's a passion thing, and that's why I appreciate everyone who comes out and spends time. So check out the Union of the Unwanted as well. Hakeem, now, very excited to have you on. You are a guy who is sponsoring the right people, I can tell, so that's great. For those who may not be familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah. So I've been awake for a very long time, and then my career path was I was a software engineer. I would build web and mobile applications, and I was pretty much working for big tech in New York City, and that was right before the scamdemic, COVID-19 '84, whatever you want to call it, happened. And I just like was sitting there one day, and I was like, I really don't want to build this prison around me. I don't want to help build it. And so I decided to fuck off from that. And luckily, around the time, I knew Derek, Derek Bros of the Freedom Cell Network, as Charlie mentioned, also part of the IMA and founding it. And he was like, "Hey, we need some help with this project called the Freedom Cell Network." And what that was there's a series of mutual aid groups, and it was a website that you can go to, put in your city, and you would find all the conspiracy theorists in your area, and also hot singles in your area.
Yeah, that's really great. Dope. Perfect.
Right? Yeah. And so it's like, as luck would have it, I sacrificed my career in big tech to kind of help out with this. But the very next year, was the pandemic in 2020. And so it kind of blew up. I found myself at the head of a community of 20,000. And one thing I realized was that no one knew what the fuck they were doing with technology. So I was like, okay. Let's lay it down. All right, guys, if we're gonna make groups that are resisting the government, let's not use Google. Let's not use all this shit. And so I started teaching about that. My blog is takebackourtech.org. I started putting out content on Linux, de-Googled phones, free software, and there was so much of a demand. It was like, okay, well, let's take this further. What can we do? And we decided at the time we were so paranoid, we were like, let's find a private way to work together. So we did a lot of research. 6 months later, you have all of the technology that's in the above phone. And then that was in 2021. Now it's 4 years later. We built our own operating system for a laptop. We have our own tablet. We have a suite of software services to rival Google and Apple. And that's basically my mission, is to make them obsolete and also to create a model for other people to decentralize all these things we're relying on, and which is also how they abuse us and how they control our minds, and they control the minds of the young people. So I think it's really, really important. And on the same page with, activist posts, we need to educate people. We also need to distance ourselves from these abusive institutions. So, I've been doing that for a while, and it's really, really important to me.
How do you decentralize a phone when you need a network to use in terms of just, the more towers you ever hear every commercial? We have more networks than any other group anywhere. And so how does a phone, does it tap into that without them knowing, or how do you guys do that?
Yeah. So one of our taglines is, you have the freedom to choose, because there's actually a lot of different ways to use this thing. So like you said, there's major networks in the US, and if you want to travel outside your house, you need to use a cellular network. There's only three or four major players in the US: AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. So if you're on their towers, you're connecting to one of those three, and they also share infrastructure as well. So even though you're using T-Mobile, a lot of your communications are going through AT&T switches. So that's one way to do it. You could take your existing service and use it with this phone, no problem. In fact, it works with any service in the world. So it doesn't matter if you're in the US, doesn't matter if you're in Australia, doesn't matter if you're in Africa. It'll work. Now, the decentralization part is, okay, you don't just have to use a cell network. You could also just connect it to Wi-Fi. And then we have a number of different solutions like video conferencing, kind of like what we're doing here. Or we even have an internet phone number, which it works over the internet. You don't need a SIM card, and you pay with Bitcoin, $5 a month. So you can use solutions like that to stay in touch with people and be more off the grid than actually being on the cell network.
And like if someone buys a phone, they can easily find all this information if they go to your website. That's
right. Yeah. And we're doing a promo for you, Sam. So if you go to abovephone.com, that's above, like up, abovephone.com/tinfoil hat, it'll have all this listed out. There's a little chat button if you have questions. But yeah, so it'll work with any cell service. And what the phone is, they call it a de-Googled phone because, Google infected its way into every piece of your phone. Apple also equally sucks, and we can talk about why it sucks. But it's kind of like organic food. What really makes the phone is all the additives and gross shit it doesn't have in it. So instead of using Google for location services, it actually uses the GPS satellites like it's supposed to. And so that's what makes it a de-Googled phone.
Well, I love it, man. I'm interested in check out your phone. You know, I'm dying to get off these phones. I need them for work, obviously, but yeah,
it's a beautiful phone, Sam. It's not like you're sacrificing anything with it either. You know what I mean? It's got everything on it. It's not like you're going back to like a flip phone or anything like that. Not even close. It's amazing. I've got one in the other room.
It'll unlock a world of stuff, but I mean, I want to hear from you guys too. Like, what are some of the creepy things that your phone has done? Have you guys like noticed?
Well, I mean, we all know it listens to us 24/7. It takes pictures of us. Like, they've done weird, like, I don't know what is the camera, but they do infrared, and it sees its picture. Yeah, it's a weird thing.
It reminds me of my ex all the time. It's like, remember this memory?
Oh, really?
Your memories. It shows you memories of like the past. You're like, I don't need this right now.
Yeah. Well, so many people don't realize when they share a photo by default on Apple, it's got all the metadata for the photo, so it shows where they were when they took it, when they were, what camera they used, all that stuff. And then I hate I'm glad they do it, but the service that Apple has now, where they're like, hey, this app has been tracking you, and it shows every time it's picked up your location as you travel around the city, you know, and you didn't know about it until they told you about it.
Oh, what apps are those? Yeah. No, isn't that why it says ask not to?
Yeah, exactly. That's what the pop-up is. It's like, hey, do you know this app's been tracking you? What do you think about that?
It's great. And I don't even trust that at all.
No, of course not.
It's funny when Apple is the arbiter. They're like, by the way, these apps are tracking you. We're good though. We're definitely not tracking you at all. And my main frustration with these big tech companies, they act like you're their bitch. Like really, they act like you're an NPC and you're not even responsible enough to use your phone. So they'll make massive changes without even informing you. And everyone who's using maybe an iPhone or a Mac right now can check this out. They did this in the past 2 weeks, but they rolled out this feature called enhanced visual search. I shit you not, takes all the photos on your device. Doesn't matter if you're using iCloud or not. And they literally scan it for landmarks like the Statue of Liberty or the Pyramids of Giza or whatever the fuck. And they scan it. And if it finds a landmark, it literally will send that to Apple. And they're collecting this massive database. So you can check this setting right now. Go to, on your iPhone, you can go to settings, apps, photos, scroll down. And if you see enhanced visual search there, it will actually be on. And this is a massive feature. They rolled it out to like hundreds of millions of phones, presumably. And they didn't even make a blog post. Like, they just don't give a shit, right?
That's not good. That's not good at all.
It's crazy.
And you know, I'm not going to lie to you. My girlfriend loves when iPhones send you a little photo, a little video of, here's your experience here. And it knows, and it just clumps everything together. And it knows exactly who's in the picture, where you are to make.
Oh, dude, with that AI and machine learning stuff. Oh, it's so scary. Yeah,
it is. It's crazy, and you fall for it because they'll take your kids, they'll put music to it, and you're like, oh, thank you, iPhone, for making this cool little video that I can put out to everybody. But then you realize that now they have your kid's face.
We're heading for Minority Report. Yeah. Remember when Tom Cruise's character in Minority Report was walking. John Anderton, I think was his name. He's walking around, and the ads would customize as he walked past him, like, "Hi, John Anderton." And it would turn into like a Guess cologne commercial or whatever. It's going to be our experience now, walking around where everything, especially once it's
no reality
in your eyes, in your glasses, dude. There's no reality.
There's only they're going to form how you see the world, because what people think is people are trusting human beings. We want to believe that we have this basic thing where it's like, oh, you're not going to lie to me. Why would you lie to me? But what they don't understand, it's not really a lie. It's a manufactured reality that they funnel certain data to you, which is called your algorithm. They'll funnel the data to you so that becomes what you think is the world. And if you don't think you're falling for that, unlog into any app you have that shows you posts, and then go back to it unlogged in and see what the front page is. It is a completely different reality. it's Japanese anime, it's whatever it is, kittens playing.
Yeah.
Completely opposite of what you've been fed into believing this reality.
And it happens in every app, dude. I know sometimes my girl, like, I log into her Disney Plus app or whatever the hell that thing's. It's completely different shit. It's even in a video app like that.
And
guys, I was gonna say yes. This is totally happening. There's no like bright line. They're just not gonna stop. If they could put an ad inside your body, they fucking would.
I mean, the craziest thing that I remember was a Pokemon Go. You thought it was a cool little Pokemon capture thing. They were using it to gather information on the app, and you think
they were having you create you were mapping for them.
Yeah, which is crazy because you said we're trusting people. You assume you're just playing a game, like, oh, Pokemon, I love Pokemon. My kid's playing Pokemon. No, they're using you as collecting data.
Well, and you mentioned that they will change the terms of service and not even tell you. So what if they do tell you? Does anybody read those damn things? Nobody. It's like that South Park episode. Nobody reads that long list of shit. Nobody.
That's a really good point too. It's one thing to be like, okay, I don't believe in surveillance, but I'm just not going to be a part of it, right? I'm going to live my life. But no, that's not enough for them. It's actually really, really it's like an evil genius move. Yeah. And Apple does this. Both Google and Apple do this. Like if you use location services on your phone, it used to, like a decade ago, use GPS satellites. But today they're collecting all the Wi-Fi location networks in the world. And guess who's collecting it for them? It's us. So there was this independent study by the University of Maryland, and they found Apple's Wi-Fi positioning system, and they were able to abuse it over and over. Apple didn't even put any restrictions on it. Oh, wow. And they gathered 2 billion Wi-Fi networks across the world. Like, that's literally every place there's a human on Earth. Like, the only part that they couldn't see was the Amazon rainforest. And so Apple has this giant database. Google has been, building this database for a really long time. And the researchers, because they did this over a period of months, they were able to see like people in Ukraine, like soldiers, like literally leave Ukraine. They saw their Wi-Fi networks move.
Oh, that's
they
crazy.
Saw Wi-Fi networks in Gaza completely just get destroyed off the map. It's crazy, man. And so there's these secret databases we don't know about. And it's like our hands aren't even clean. If you use a big tech phone, they'll make you a part of it.
Yeah, you have no say in it at all. It's so crazy to me. And it's just like our convenience is going to be our entrapment.
Dude, it's like these Amazon devices. There's a reason those things are dirt cheap. You can get an Amazon device, a little Echo or something for like $5-10 when they go on Prime Day. It's because of that. I think it's called Neighborhood, and they've networked all those devices now, and you have to opt into it, I think, but. So they have all, like in your neighborhood now, all of them are communicating.
Sidewalk.
What's it called?
Sidewalk.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah. And they have a little tiny bit of your bandwidth that gets dedicated to this encrypted spectrum that they all share with each other. Which is, I mean, if that's compromised, can you imagine the potential? A nightmare.
Well, it's beyond the phones too. It's your Ring doorbell cameras.
Yeah,
I mean, they can paint a pretty decent picture of who you interact with at your home by grabbing all that data.
What about
and
Telegram?
Building a profile.
What about Telegram? That doesn't
They
work
all
at all.
do.
I mean, at the end of the day, the
Telegram app. You're asking about Telegram app?
Yeah. All those ones where like you do. I mean, I don't know. We have one. It's supposed to be pretty decentralized. Is it not?
Is the encryption legit?
Yeah, is it legit, or is it at the end of the day?
Well, I mean, it's still a human flaw in that, like we learned last week, with the Yemen thing.
Yeah. Telegram was it was never. It was always like you had to trust Pavel Durov, CEO of Telegram, right, to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he was big baller for a minute. He was straight, big dick energy for a minute, like not taking requests from anybody. He would ignore court orders. Like he had an empty office in Dubai. He would just never answer the mail. And then Macron, like totally top 10 anime betrayaled him and brought him into France. And so now, he's stuck. So there's probably more data that's being leaked from Telegram that we don't know about. They're censoring a lot more channels now, for what it's worth.
And if you're playing on their playground, they probably make the rules of the playground. Hey guys, you know I love investing in crypto. I just invested in Fat N-words in space, and boy, did it pay off. I love crypto, and you should love crypto too. It's a great way to make money fast, and that's why you got to hear about. I want to tell you about my good friend James McMahon and Copy My Crypto. Let me tell you about Copy My Crypto. Guys, it has to piss you off to watch crypto fly up in prices for a decade and you still done nothing, okay? It makes sense. Crypto is complicated and it's really boring. Well, here's the good news. You don't have to know a thing about crypto to make the money like so many have. The CopyMyCrypto.com membership site shows you the exact cryptos that YouTuber James McMahon personally owns, which means you just got to copy him. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest. You simply just copy along. So let me tell you about James. He runs the Crypto with James YouTube channel, which has over 50,000 subscribers. In the summer of 2020, he told his viewers to buy 26 cryptos. Had you put $100 into each one, it went on to be worth over $123,000. Of the 26 cryptos, his top pick, the one he singled out called Phantom, went up 692 times from when he said, okay, that one call alone retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go to YouTube and verify this yourself. So if you'd like to join the 2,800 members who copy James, then pause what you're doing right now and head over to copymycrypto.com/TFH. Okay, that's copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's TFH. You're not only find proof of everything I said, but my viewers get full access for just $1. Yes, you've missed out on Bitcoin, or you can keep buying some, okay? But there's over 2 million other cryptos. Do you really think you've missed out on all of them? Guys, don't waste any time. Go to the site and read it. Okay. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/TFH. It ended money worries for so many. It may just do the same for you. Real quick, guys, I want to tell you about my dates coming up. Tonight, I am live at the Comedy Store. I got a murder lineup of murderers, okay? We got Comedy Chaos tonight. Then this weekend, I got Tacoma. First show's Tinfoil Hat with my good friend Eddie Bravo. And then I'm doing my own shows the next 2 nights, okay, at the Tacoma Comedy Club. Then on the 1st, I'm back at doing the Revival is back, an hour of politics, spirituality, and comedy. Small room. Nightcap is a very small room. It's called the Revival. Grab your tickets now. Then Bellflower on the 10th and Cleveland and San Diego. We got so many dates coming up. Go to samtripoli.com for tickets. Let's get back into it. You know, it's like when Elon Musk, who I don't trust as far as I can kick him, when he wants to make it so, you can't block people anymore. And Apple's like, well, then you can't be in our store because that's one of our rules. You got to be able to block people who are harassing you. So then he kind of compromised, man. Okay, you can block them, but they can still see your shit, which to me is crazy as well.
I wonder why he did that. Yeah. Hey, and guys, I want to offer too is if you want to see what exercising Bill Gates and Apple out of your phone looks like, I can just bring up the phone right here and we can get into it. If you have any questions, like I can just demo it here on screen. So I'm happy to do that.
Sure. Yeah, show us.
All right, so check this out. So the first thing we'll look at is this private app store. So one of the main issues with apps on big tech phones is there's usually 3 third-party companies that are tracking what you're doing inside of the app. They call it advertising and analytics. And so let's use an example here. So this is a private way to access the Google Play Store. Like another feature about the phone is you don't have to log into anything, right? As soon as you log into an Apple ID or a Google ID in your account, well, I mean, your identity is connected to it, right? Whatever you're visiting, whatever you're browsing, that's all connected to your profile. With this phone, you don't log into any account like that. But this is actually a homie in India who built this app that will let you download apps privately You don't have to sign into anything. Now, here's the crazy part. This is like going to the store, getting some food, and actually looking at the nutrition facts. For any app, this is Adobe PDF reader. It's like a fucking PDF reader, right? That's going to read files on your phone. But you look at it, and it's actually got 9 different companies sitting in there.
Whoa.
And this is, yeah. So Google, Facebook, all these people. And this is like the average. Whatever games and stuff you have on your phone, they have more than this. So this is giving you informed.
Go back to that real quick.
Yeah.
Go back to that. Where you go look at that. Facebook, Google, 2 Googles, different Googles.
3
different Facebooks.
3 Googles, 3 Facebooks. Fucking Adobe.
Wow.
So let's say you have the phone and you accidentally or for some reason download one of these apps. Does that you just delete the
You're
app?
fucked, man. The police are coming to your house.
I wouldn't doubt it. You're like, why do you have this phone that we can't track?
No, it's look, it's not the end of the world. Like, we all make mistakes, right? No one's perfect, but the point is you can have informed consent. So you're like, okay, I'm not going to use this PDF reader. I'm going to hop over to my friendly organic app store, which is called F-Droid. And this is a separate app store. It's available on Android. So if you have an Android phone, you can search it F-Droid. But all of these apps are organic in the sense that you can see what their code does. They're free and open source is what they call it. And so there's alternatives, right? If I search PDF, I'll have a bunch of different options. And the cool part is, I've got Library Reader here, is this shit will work offline. I'll disconnect it from the internet, like as a PDF reader should. There should be no reason it's connected to the internet. So that's another thing this phone allows you to do. You have control over all of your permissions. You can disconnect apps from the internet and a whole bunch of other stuff. So on Above Phone, we have alternatives for everything, right? Whether it's navigating around, we have offline maps. Whether you want to download videos off of YouTube directly to your phone or play them in the background.
You can just download them or rip them or watch them.
Yeah, all of them. Let's see if we can find your show. You're on YouTube,
you gotta
right?
put not tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
Not tinfoil hat podcast.
That's it. Basically, we don't even control
we don't post we don't post.
All right, let me just download your latest video here.
Oh shit.
So download, you want it in audio or video?
Let's do video.
Are you constantly having to work around them trying to defeat this if you're operating this
There is a little bit of a war, but honestly, open source developers, they just got those hands. They're just working, dude. They're putting in the work.
That's great.
And Google will try and break it, and within a day they'll fix it. So it's not too bad. I
have a few apps that I use for this, and they're always asking for donations because they're at war with Google.
Yeah. I have this Downy 4 I rip all my videos from. They're like, hey man, we're trying. YouTube is making it real hard, which is hilarious because so much of YouTube's content is reaction videos. They're shooting themselves in the foot by not allowing you to rip the video.
Well, they want you to do it internally with that Clips program, which is just trash. It's totally garbage. But they want you to do it with them, and it's
ridiculous.
It's worthless. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that, Sam's podcast. There we go, bang. Yeah, man.
Now, and this is downloaded just the source file, right? No, there's no Google shit inserted like ads or anything, right?
Yeah, it's just the straight MP4 for the video. And what I like to do is so here's another thing. I mean, I don't know if you guys are
let me ask you something real quick. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. So I see these these symbols right here, say background or pop up. Mm-hmm. Is that from you or from YouTube?
This is a special app called New Pipe. And so these are features you would normally pay for with the YouTube app, right? You would pay $9 a month. But here you just get them for free.
Wow.
So one of the things, you play it in the background. You can do that. You can go on your run or whatever. You don't have to pay shit. You can watch it. It's doing its thing.
Whoa, that's amazing.
What's that thing where you saw? It's like jailbreaking your phone in a way. Do you remember jailbreaking your phone? I remember you could do crazy things if you knew how to do it back then with an iPhone, but you could compromise your phone.
Let me ask you something. Is that file downloaded to your phone? Meaning, if I go to videos, I can find that video in my phone of videos. Here
it is. Actually, it's this is in my downloads. It's downloaded. It's almost a gigabyte, and This is kind of like jailbreaking, but it's the next level because we're not modifying the existing operating system right at the core of the phone. This is an operating system that is built from the foundation of Google's, but just with all the Google shit stripped out, with extreme security features. Like the police cannot break into this. There's Israeli companies like Celebrite. Their whole business is breaking into phones, and this phone is on their list. They can't break into it.
Oh wow!
So there's all these security benefits, and it also unlocks all these things that'll save you time and they'll save you money and fucking give you peace of mind.
Now let me ask you something. How do you know they've been trying to break into your phone?
Well, so this company, it's called Celebrite, and what they do, so they work directly with law enforcement. So they'll have like internal marketing material, and they'll be like, here's a grid of phones we can break into. iPhone 14 Pro Max, no fucking problem. We can pull all the data off of that, even if it's locked. Samsung, no fucking problem. This phone, this is Pixel 9, and the operating system is called Graphene OS. A security obsessed operating system. We can't do anything about it when it's locked. And the only way they'd be able to pull data off is if they knew the PIN code, which, they don't. And you can do very long PIN codes. There's different ways to protect the data on your phone. So this is the highest security phone a consumer can get on the market.
Damn. Fire. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. I think it's important, dude. I think it's very important that we figure out alternative ecosystems because it's going to get. I'm really amazed that shows like ours, Charlie, haven't just been completely not just like. I'm convinced that the hosting channel, the hosting site that hosts the show's audio, is completely and utterly fucking with my numbers. I catch them lowering my numbers every time. It never jumps up. It never goes. But I would expect it to jump up if I just put out an episode, right? Or like 2 days later, I should have more than I had 3 days later. But I always see it jump backwards, dude. Whatever that number, we're gonna throw out 500,000, right? You'll refresh. Now it's at 450. And I'm convinced, like we had an episode we put out that we put it out early, sometimes I'll put the episode at 12:01 the next day, right? And so therefore it's ready for you in the morning when you're on your way to work or whatever it is. It didn't go out. Did I forget? So it didn't go out. And I was like, did I forget to hit publish or did I put schedule publish and never publish?
Schedule it differently. I've done it that way. We schedule a different date or different time.
Yeah, or anything. Nope. Went to it, said publish. Still haven't been pushed out. Johnny had to tweak it, like re-upload it or something.
I tried a few. I scheduled it and then hit publish.
And then eventually went out.
Reflowed it basically a couple of times and somehow it worked. Yeah, but I have no idea.
But yeah, you just were tinkering with it. But if let's say you didn't know how to do that, you would be effed. If we didn't have a nerd dork like Johnny on the show, we would be completely and utterly effed.
I'm surprised they haven't hit us harder, to be honest, Sam. I'm not trying to
especially
speak it into existence, but shit. We've been talking about some pretty subversive things on our shows over the last few years, and they know where to find us. And I'm sort of leaning more towards Corbett's line of thinking. He's like, you got to build a walled garden because and you need to have that email distribution list where you connects you with your audience, because if they pull you off, what happens is that your audience goes, oh, he died, or he got out of the business, or he did something else, whatever. They never get the message that, no, I'm still publishing, I'm still doing this. It's just being shut off. I know Lindsay Sharman, my partner on Day Zero, she had some major fuckery happen with her podcast hosting site where it took everybody off, and then she had put it back on, reinstall it, and it didn't. And anybody that was a subscriber before never got the message that it had been taken off. So she would get an email from someone and says, "Oh, I just saw that you put out an episode. I haven't heard from you. I haven't seen you in over a year. I thought you were done doing this." And she's like, "No, it's my podcast player is playing games with me." So I'm expecting it. I'm not wanting it, obviously, but I'm expecting it. I think that they're starting to recognize that this is an industry that's not going away. People are drawn to it, and the numbers reflect that. And if we're talking about things, especially, like when it's dangerous, it's one thing to talk about COVID vaccines in 2025, but when you're talking about it in 2021, it's a whole different story. And so I can envision a scenario in which we get ourselves into some, or World War III, and if you're not supportive enough of what's going on, then next thing you know, you're either gone, or they do what you do, freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach, which is a term that was coined by the IDF. So I could see that happening as well. And it doesn't take much, right, to compromise the heads of these podcast hosting companies. You just need to get one guy in a bad spot, and next thing
they play
you know,
dirty too. That's the frustrating part, right? Because it's like they have plausible deniability, so they'll just mess with you, and it'll feel like a bug.
Yeah.
The same thing happened with like Freedom Cells, right? It's like, oh, someone would come onto our site, post like a ripped movie, then report it. By the time I got to seeing it, they would kind of delete it. So it's really hard to deal with these things.
I think you're seeing that on Twitter with these bots. I think everyone's talking about is how toxic Twitter is now. And I go, how much of it is real? If they can't control it, they flood it. That's what they do. They flood it. And, for a long time, up until recently, I'm talking a couple days ago, I was like, Twitter is like this. I'm not saying there isn't censorship, and I'm not saying that some people in the space haven't gotten way more censorship than other people. But I was feeling there was real conversations starting to happen. Like it was this place, this town hall where you'd present your idea and you'd get instant feedback. Now, I posted a thing about the guy who went to McDonald's and tried to help his kids. And he tried to get a job, so he had the oldest one watch the kids at the McDonald's while he tried to get a job. And the comments were so nasty, and they were always from someone with a fake profile pic and a fake name. Even the bots have got more sophisticated, where they're
the porn bots.
The porn bots are the only nice people on the internet.
But they don't bother you. But the problem is they limit your reach, and you can tell that you've got one because it'll be the first one that likes your content, and then your content goes nowhere.
Meaning porn bots.
Have you guys seen the bots that they're now using large language models? So they'll know the context of what you posted, and they can like kind of evoke different feelings. We've seen that on Telegram a lot, but it used to be kind of like crappy, like, oh, hello. And now it's more like, oh, like, why would you promote this or something? It kind of looks weird, so they'll cause fear, uncertainty, and doubt and stuff.
I'll even go farther. I was talking about this last night with Tino Sanchez from Tinfoil Hat and Trevor Mala. I posted something about Ben Shapiro when he had said about, the RFK assassination was so long ago, why do we care? Right? And he wrote an article about it. Like, the guy is completely unself-aware of how stupid that looks when everyone knows your blind spot. So I posted it, and I go, what a peculiar thing to say, which has a little negative connotation to it, right? The comments were just toxic. Like anti-Jew, 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 to the point I had to take it down. Even for one of my posts, I was like, okay, this is not good. So I took it down, and then I go, I'm going to do a little bit of a different kind of caption this time. I'm going to say, one of the most interesting articles of 2025, completely different comment section. Not that there wasn't a Jew here, a Jew there thing, but way more positive, way more like let's just say not negative like that. Where if like someone looked at the comment, they'd be like, this is like a Klan rally. That's what I felt like the comment section was getting. And I was like, okay, that's not good. And it just fits into that video that went out about the girl who watched the video, told her boyfriend about it. Her boyfriend found the video on his phone, and then they compared the comments, and none of them were similar. They were all completely different comments with completely different vibes. Even the comments are curated to a way to elicit emotions and feel and reality.
They call this dead internet theory, and most of the activity on the internet is bots or paid provocateurs, but now it's bots. And do you guys remember seeing that thing about Reddit like a really long time ago? They would publish like the cities or locations that use Reddit the most, and in 2005 they were like, "Oh, the most addicted city is Eglin Air Force Base."
That's great. Wow.
That's crazy.
Langley, Virginia is off the charts here. We don't know why. We're really popular
our
there.
number one customer.
Can't even use a VPN in the military intelligence. Like, what are we doing there?
They learned that year.
Hey guys, real quick, I'll tell you about our good friends at Hims. Listen, hair loss doesn't have to be your thing. There's technology out there, and there's no better place to go for that technology than our good friends at Hims. Let us tell you about Hims.
Hims provides you with convenient access to a range of hair loss treatments that work all from the comfort of your couch. Hims makes treating hair loss simple with doctor-trusted options and clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. Choose from personalized chewable, oral, spray, and serum treatments to find what works best for you. The process is simple and 100% online, so you don't have to deal with uncomfortable doctor visits. You just answer a few questions, and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. And if prescribed, your treatment is sent directly to you for free. No insurance needed, and one low price covers everything from treatment to ongoing care. Hims has hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, and they can help you get your confidence back too with visibly thicker and fuller hair.
So here's what we need you to do, man. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/tinfoil hat. That's HIMS.com/tinfoil hat for your personal hair loss treatment options. hims.com/tinfoil hat.
Results vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Well, it also is like, okay, so you have DARPA, you have all this incredible technology development, but for some reason, some kid in the basement trying to get pussy somehow is able to come up with shit you can't even fathom, and then you end up just co-opting it. But it's crazy to me how they get outworked by these people.
Sam, have you ever noticed that there's two different origin stories that they use when it comes to technology, transformational technology companies? Either you're a freshman starting a tech company in your dorm at Harvard that with stolen technology that wasn't yours, and the word on the street is you're not very good at coding, and then you go on to be worth billions of dollars and pump that money into elections and eugenics. Who am I talking about? Am I talking about Bill Gates, or am I talking about Mark Zuckerberg?
Or am I talking about totally.
Because they have the exact same origin stories. Or the second one is you start another transformational technology company out of your garage in Palo Alto, like Hewlett Packard or Google
or Jeff Bezos.
Right. So there's always the origin story. They never tell you that the technology is coming from InQtel. They failed to leave that out, or the Stanford Research Institute, or whoever, or just outright the CIA. But it's always this origin story. These lucky nerds who were hacking away, trying to get laid, building a cool database to try and get some pussy at Harvard. And what do you know? It just happened. We ran into this investor, a guy who was willing to give us $500,000 for 10% of it. Yeah, his name's Peter Thiel. We don't know where he came from. I mean, certainly didn't come out of DARPA, didn't come out of his partner, Alex Karp, wasn't one of the co-founders of InQtel, wasn't involved in InQtel. So like, you start to feel like, oh my God, like the origin stories are the same. The people involved in it tend to be the same. But when you peel back a couple layers, what you find is the intelligence agencies are all over this stuff.
Hold on, guys. I need to go clean my garage real quick.
Yeah,
you should clean all the hidden microphones out of it too, because God knows they were bugging us. Remember when they used to have to like, damn, I think my phone is tapped. I think they've tapped my phone, and now you've just got a Amazon Echo, like on your kitchen table.
Yeah,
totally.
It's like,
Tap yourself.
It's the same thing.
With Bill Gates, the guy who gave him money was, I hate to say it, my man, Ballmer.
Steve Ballmer, yeah.
Yeah, they were on the same floor. And Ballmer just happens to be part of the committee of 300, which is crazy to think about. That guy owns the Clippers, and he's one of the three. Yeah, nobody ever talks about Ballmer. They only talk about how he's the richest guy in sports, but they never talk about how powerful he was, because he was like, he knows how. He's I'm stupid, he's guy.
Yeah, he's
I dance.
Like when they're doing that dancing to the Rolling Stones on stage,
and
at that
no one's got
Microsoft
rhythm.
event. Oh, it's horrible. Yeah.
Hey, I think that it boils down to this bullshit meter about these heroes that are really that really elevate themselves in society. And I could almost make a guess, if a company is big enough, or maybe publicly traded, or past some revenue mark, you probably sold out. You probably took it in the butt or something from someone.
Probably both.
Probably both.
Imagine you having to get $1 billion and taking it in the butt at the same time. You're like, oh man, I got to do both of those. That's awful. But it's also my whole theory about this has been the game since the jump. Like the story of Mayor Rothschild, who kicks off the Rothschild empire, is like, that story is Paul Bunyan bullshit. Oh, dude, he was 13 running an investment firm, and he was so smart. And dude, that's all bullshit. They just it's all data. Who is a psycho? Who will slit his own mother's throat for $1 to be famous for chicks? And that's who they push forward. The Gates programs, all that stuff. Johnny was in the Gates program. He obviously was a retard, and they're like, oh, we can't do anything with this guy, so let's not do anything with him. But the rest of them, they've been everything. Again, now we talk about data. They were doing that long time ago. If agents in Hollywood can find open micers who they think have a chance, then the government can find an idiot or some fucking psychopath in the dorm room who they think, hey, this guy could do something. I'm telling you, that's what they did with Epstein. Like, Epstein gets that job teaching at school. Bill Barr's dad puts him in there, probably was told to put him here, because that guy, I guarantee you, if we went deep enough into Jeffrey Epstein, there's a sex scandal, like some kind of sexual assault or something like that, very early, where he has to play ball. Same thing with Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg's up on murder. They got him dead to rights. He gets off it. Now he's pushing every single narrative that they want, from Kanye getting out, leaving the flock, to trying to herd him back in. 1 second he hates Trump, next second he loves Trump. He's just a flip flopper. He's not gangbanger. We like the RJ on the 2 episodes ago said. Not from Compton at all. Singing about Compton all the time.
How much better do you think they are at it now, with all the extra data they have on us now?
I'm sure they have 100%.
Yeah, like accuracy. They can find the perfect kid right now.
Yeah,
the perfect kid. Back then, it was missing trial. It wasn't the perfect kid.
Altman is the best example. This Sam Altman guy. Like, this guy gets accused of murdering a whistleblower and sexually assaulting his sister for years, and the next day he gets $500 billion from the U.S. government. Gets a $40 billion investment just like a couple days ago, right, Johnny? I mean, that is a real time example.
It's a funding round. Yeah, they got $40 billion. That was a record.
To a guy accused of murder and sexually assaulting a child.
Crazy. It's almost like it's like a prerequisite for the hiring requirements.
Yeah. 100%. It's like, I've never seen it that brazen before, but this is where they're at. To the point.
Or they dig into they find somebody from a family that has a leaning like that. Like Bill Gates' dad was well known before anyone knew who Bill Gates was. He was coming up through that Planned Parenthood. He was the chairman of the board of Planned Parenthood. He was deeply involved in the Reagan administration. He knew all these guys. I mean, the idea that Bill Gates is some anomaly that's just a real good programmer that understood, had this idea for Windows. I mean, it's a stolen technology. So who got it for him? Frankly, also his mother was deeply involved in this stuff as well. So sometimes it's family, it's intergenerational fuckery that goes on, and they identify a family early on and take some, and you're born into the cult. and you're a part of that, and you've got a mission. And Bill Gates' mission is not to make money. He's got all the money he wants. His mission is eugenics. It's depopulation. It's thinning the herd. That's what he's all about. And the software programs and all of that, it's nice, but it's an ends to a mean. To be able to generate hundreds of billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars for Microsoft over the course of their existence, and take that money, take that net worth, and then plow $60 billion into vaccines in the Middle East, in sub-Saharan Africa. I mean, that's his mission. It's not making software. It's depopulation. The software is just how he got his money.
Yeah. And it's so crazy. Like, you listen to him give speeches, or he's in interviews in some auditorium, and he says the darkest shit you've ever heard in your life. They either clap for him or they laugh at because they think he's telling a joke. You know, it's like when he was talking about Trump wants to investigate what's in vaccines, and he's like, oh no, don't do that. They're like, ha, 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 ha. You're like, dude, you should be like, why don't you want them to do that? Like, when he's talking about, like, if these vaccines work, we're going to be able to lower the population by 15%. No one's like, why are you doing that? What 15% are you getting rid of? Who are you getting rid of?
Yeah, the equation that he had up behind him when he was giving that TED Talk in Long Beach was the P in it, the letter P in it was population. And he was talking about if we do a good job with our vaccine programs, we can lower that number by about 10 or 15%. He was talking about the population. And he never gave any sort of explanation as to how it would lower the population, except that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has been busted, along with the World Health Organization, for putting antigens, sterilants, in the tetanus vaccines that they rolled out in Kenya. They got busted in 2014 doing it. They denied it at first, of course. Then they later admitted that they had done it. And then they had to confess that not only had they been doing it, they'd been doing it for a decade. And it wasn't limited to Kenya. So it's a depopulation program. That's what it is. And sometimes they'll tell you what the plan is. You just don't expect them to say it. If you also remember during COVID, when he was being interviewed in a different setting, and he was giddy talking about how we just take these needles and we just inject them right into their arms. We just put all of that right into those children, in the kids' arms. And he gets euphoric talking about it. That is beyond human. You know, that is a darkness that is hard to really comprehend. And it's hidden in plain sight. And it's disguised by the PR campaign that he spends hundreds of millions of dollars on every single year with the mainstream media to buy their silence, to buy their consent. Reminder that the MS in MSNBC stands for Microsoft.
Yep.
It's a joint venture. It's no longer in play. It expired after 25 years, but it was funded by Bill Gates, and he wears sweaters. So, you know, I mean, how bad of a guy can he be? Looks like just like Bill Cosby. Oh wait, maybe the wrong example.
Yeah.
That's so fun. People forget too, Gates, his legacy lives on in Apple, because he was a big part of resurrecting Apple when Steve Jobs came back. You forget I think it was at WWDC, and they were the greatest of enemies, you know, in the 80s during the computer wars. Steve Jobs on stage at WWDC, and Gates appears behind him on this, you know, the massive screen in the auditorium, like 1984, and everybody's clapping at the event, because he kind of, you know, he gave them some money and participated in kind of bailing them out around that time.
Which is an interesting thing.
Forget,
Why would they do that?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's almost like, you know, when
they needed competition around that time because of all the antitrust stuff, though. I'm sure that was a big part of it.
That's my theory on why the UFC let it go. All their a couple fighters in the rankings of 4 down to 10.
Yeah, I've heard you say
let
that.
them go to these other organizations so that they didn't get hit with antitrust. Yeah, it's interesting to me. So we're living in this kind of time right now where what we were talking about, when you talk about the danger of talking about COVID in 2020, one of the earlier, not like 4 years earlier, the danger was Pizzagate. The Pizzagate story changes how that becomes, okay, we have to start really locking these people down. They decided that the people had built their system out enough that they could start now controlling it, right? Like YouTube, when we talk about, Jason Burmis or Burmese. I always mess his name up. Sorry, Jason.
Burmis.
I got right in the first time. Yay
You
for
did,
me.
yeah.
When we talk about what that guy did for YouTube with Loose Change, it was a huge reason everyone ran to YouTube. But once it got built out and it was the network where Mr. Beast has come on and all the kids are watching a guy named Mr. Beast, now it's like, okay, we got to start locking it down again because the truth is getting away from us. What we're really doing is getting away from us. And now we have to operate a little different because they know our playbook. And the reason I bring this up is like Kim Iverson, who I really love her show. I think she does a lot of great work. I don't agree with her on everything all the time, but I don't do that with anybody. She's now talking about how there wasn't even a virus when it came to COVID.
She just had Tom Cowan on. Yeah, I saw that. And she had Whitney Webb on right before Tom, too. So, by the way, Jason Burmis, proud member of the Independent Media Alliance as well. So we've got some good ones there.
And the guy's got if you know Jason on it, sometimes you can see Jason, he can be an intense guy, but I think that's passion and he cares a lot. And, I've been blessed when I've played certain cities, he comes and sees me and we have dinner together. And if you knew like him as a person on a personal level, you'd realize like what a big heart he has and like what he's doing for his family is like he doesn't have to do it and he's doing it. And it's like he's such a nice guy. And
he's a good dude.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And he's the reason why YouTube is where YouTube is. And a lot of people don't know that. But going back to the Kim Iverson thing, excuse me. Like for somebody at that level to make that kind of statement about a virus not existing.
There's something really insidious.
He's breaking up. You're breaking up, Hakeem. You're breaking up.
Oh, Charlie's still there. So
you need to get on your own phone. You're breaking up. So it's kind of crazy, right? It's like crazy.
Do you stand on that?
What?
That there was no virus? That there was no COVID?
Are you asking me if I believe there was a virus?
No. But whatever you think, because COVID, you lost your taste and your smell, and you can't say that was not normal.
I guess
what
this
was
is
that?
The first time I've really spoken in public about this, but the level of
just catching up. Yeah. It was kind of
okay. Hold on. Well, here we go. Are we back? And we lost them.
All right.
Come back. There we are. You're back.
Me.
You're back. We're excited you're back. We were worried about it.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, the no virus thing is really strange. I've been pushing back on it. I feel like, I read about terrain theory, and I think that it's not mutually exclusive. Yes. And I think that a lot of people go way too far with it.
Yeah, I'm right there.
That's Johnny's take. I look at I'm not saying there isn't anything. I'm not saying that, but maybe I am saying that. I just feel like when I study like COVID or I study with like in particularly AIDS, which was the big movement, and you go, okay, it's called autoimmune deficiency, meaning your immune system shot. That it's not autoimmune virus system or anything like that. It's not AIDS. It's AIDS.
You're forgetting HIV though. The V.
Yeah, but Johnny,
the virus that causes AIDS.
That's the point I'm saying.
Right.
That's the point I'm saying.
Right, but there was okay. Yeah, I'm just saying that
we can get down to it. The guy who created the test that they used, which was the PCR test, came out and said there is no data that isolates viruses. So this is my whole point. It's called Koch's postulates. It's how they, in the 1800s to the around 1913, you had to prove a virus existed by basically scooping it out by itself. That's called the isolation, putting in another host, watch it spread in that host, then taking out of that new host and putting yet another host. They couldn't do it, so they came up with something called Rivers requirements, and which made it way more easier to prove it. It wasn't even you wouldn't even make sure the Petri dish had only that in it. It could have a bunch of other stuff into it. And Jamie Deluxe has broken down all of these docs of all these virologists coming out going, they've never proven Koch's postulates with it ever.
You're talking about HIV now.
Yes. Okay. Which was the big push because the killer of the people were actually AZT.
AZT.
Yeah. and it was a cancer drug, which they made these people take for their whole life. And it's like you're only supposed to take a cancer drug when you have cancer, not for the rest of your life. Nobody takes chemo for the rest of their life. If you're cured,
what about the people who died before AZT though? There were people in the early. They literally
tell you who Agent Zero is.
Okay. And you're saying that
and it comes after this. They had a free hepatitis B or something.
Okay. That's thing. I got you. All right.
Show up here and get your free shot, and that's where they find it. That's how it kicks off.
There are a few examples that kind of stand in the face of that, and I think that this is such a complex topic. Like, yes, so the viruses haven't been imaged on their own. They kind of need to exist in the context of the host. But there have been people like Royal Raymond Rife, who in the 50s, he was able to take the cancer virus, which he was the one who did a lot of study on pleomorphism, which was viruses can transform into bacteria, into a bunch of different microorganisms, depending on the conditions of the host. And he called it a cancer virus himself, and he was able to take it and transfer it to a bunch of rats, and then he would cure them with frequency too. So I think that it's kind of like in physics, right? We know these tiny particles like quarks exist, but we can't see them. So I do think it leaves the possibility open there that there is something there, but
I'm not saying there's nothing there. I'm just saying what they're telling you to take a vaccine for may not be, because it's called an exosome, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm a smart guy, flunked first grade, so I'm just going to, but it's like this thing where they're so smart, they've studied the human body so much, they realize certain times of years, we all detoxify toxins. Our cells clean out themselves and push out something, which is a toxin. And they've taken that and labeled it a virus. And so now they're like, take this dead virus or this weakened virus and put it in your body so your body can figure out how to, it goes, okay, then how did anyone cure themselves before? And then you get to this whole thing where it's like, when they introduce new technologies, let's say like the electric wire, you see a giant sickness suddenly appear. It's the same thing with the virus that the vaccine the polio vaccine. They were saying polio was going away at that point.
I mean, if you've seen the new Rogan, I don't know she had some scientists on there. She said that you get cancer from the vaccines, and that it's proven that you can see the cancer go up while they started giving people vaccines. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily. I think the implication there is not necessarily that they directly cause cancer, but the inflammation, from whatever is in the shots, possibly. But I mean, she was also talking about polio. You heard that part actually, where she was talking about how polio, they were claiming to have cured it, but really what they did was differentiate all of these different, or I guess you would say, no. They took all of these viruses and conditions that had been differentiated, and then just started instead of calling them polio, they had always been called polio. They called them these different little things now, so that they could kind of
which is the same thing they did with crime. When they wanted to tell you crime was going down under Biden, it's because they labeled criminals other ethnic groups. They allowed people just to leave. Like if you get charged with armed robbery, and then I dismiss it, according to statistics, a crime never happened.
She also said that like 95% of people who get polio, I mean, they're asymptomatic. There are no symptoms of polio for 95% of.
They changed the name to non-polio flaccid myelitis and things like that to try and say, well, it's not polio anymore. It's going down. It's this instead. It's definitely not polio. It's non-polio flaccid myelitis. You go, yeah, but the symptoms are exactly like polio, coinciding with the fact that they removed DDT.
Yeah.
From being sprayed everywhere. My grandmother had polio. And I remember asking my mom, did she like work, was she around gardening when she was a kid? And she was like, yeah, I mean, everybody back in Tennessee had farms. Of course, she was around. I said, that they're saying that this came from DDT and that was the cause. I wouldn't be surprised, because I'm sure They were around that. And so I think at the core, people need to understand, whether virus, no virus, whatever, the American medical education system was taken over by the Rockefellers after the Flexner Report. I mean, they created the concept of medical schools. At the time when they started, there were like 60, 70 different ones. By the time they got in there after 10 years, they'd pared that down to about 25 different medical schools. And then they wrote the credentials. And if you didn't follow their allopathic medicine dictates, you wouldn't be certified as a doctor. So they controlled the education process first, made it a certain way so that it was petroleum-based medicines that would be the only solution. Obviously, the Rockefellers are in the petroleum business. So they gave them a brand new angle there to make money. And so they controlled the school system. So that's the reason why naturopaths, chiropractors, people that work with herbs, things like that, they were just deemed kooks and crazy and uncertified, not because their services or products didn't work, but because the Rockefellers had taken over the medical schooling and they did not want any of that in there. So we're getting a very warped version of the medical industry anyway. And by the way, medical industry is the number 3 cause of death in the United States behind heart disease and cancer. So it's not like it's coming in and saving everybody. In fact, if you allow, you guys have had Christian Jordan on here before. He's my certified health practitioner. I'm never going to another, like a traditional doctor ever again. Why would I? Man, they don't want the same thing I want. They want to put me on pills and this. I haven't been on a prescription drug in 10, 20 years. I just don't take them. So you have to take responsibility for your own health. And if you outsource it to the pharmaceutical industry, good luck to you, because you're going to get what you deserve if you do that.
The word too is iatrocide, death by doctor, and I think it's like 300,000 people a year.
Ooh,
crazy.
Yeah, and it's so funny. I've talked about this on Broken Sim, but there's a guy who came at me really hard about vaccines, and he's like, "You're going off on vaccines. You're a crazy person, especially now that this measles stuff came out." And I tweeted it. I go, "Everybody, hold on. When that story came out, wait till more data comes out, and it's straight up proved." That it was actually medical malpractice that caused that kid to die, and the hospital spun it into he died from measles. One of the funniest things ever on Broken Sim was Johnny showed me somebody had put together a clip of the Brady Bunch, how the Brady Bunch talked about the measles versus this new Law and Order episode that is so insane. Yeah. I wish we could find it to play.
I have it right.
There's a Law
and Order. Can they see it?
There's a Law and Order COVID.
They did an episode on measles.
On measles.
Can you show them that real quick? It's so insane, guys. And this is and we talked about this. I've been talking about this everywhere and anywhere. This whole thing with these Tesla protests. Like, this to me is a great example of media, how the media manipulates people. Because if you see who's doing all the protests and vandalism and blowing up cars, which if you want to label that domestic terrorism, that could be something. But, it's all over 55 and super progressives. What is the demographic that still watches MSNBC and still watches CNN? Over 55. Super progressive. It's the greatest example I've ever seen of programming by the media. Here, can you guys see the screen that he put up?
Yeah, they should be able to see.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
What are you doing home from school?
They sent me home. Measles.
That's either measles or a strange case of red freckles.
You have got a temperature.
They told me 101.1. What's the record?
Never mind.
Oh, are you sure it's the measles?
Well, he certainly got all the symptoms. A slight temperature, a lot of dots, and a great big smile.
A great big smile.
No school for a few days.
Say hello to my dotted son for me. Tell him I'll bring him some comic books and I'll see you later, dear.
Okay, honey, bye.
Boy, this is the life, isn't it? Yeah. If you have to get sick, Sure can't beat the measles.
That's right.
No medicine.
Inside or out. Like shots, I mean.
Don't even mention shots. Yuck!
Measles, measles, measles. Well, all the kids have now had the measles.
So have I.
Well, I had them years ago. Looks like the Bradys are finished with the measles.
Hold it.
They're laughing. She
You're
got
not
the
through
measles.
yet.
Alice, don't tell me you're coming down with the measles.
Oh, I hope so. I'd hate to think I was just learning how to blush at my age.
Dad says I should go to school.
7 students confirmed with measles, 4 others possible.
Wow, they had to have been vaccinated.
These moms never vaccinated their kids and lied about it.
Vaccines are harmful.
You are endangering the health of every child in this city.
Blue. No, it's turning blue.
Call 911.
All new SVU.
Oh my God!
It's like a horror movie.
Oh my God!
Hey, Sam, did you know that they pulled that episode from the syndicated versions of Brady Bunch?
Really?
Really?
I saw that someone in the cast of Brady Bunch was saying that they wish it wasn't being used that way. They were disappointed. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
They're upset about that?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, they're using it to prove something. So funny,
I think it was
dude.
Marsha or Jan, whichever one's alive.
Oh, is it Jan? What's the one that's
of them's
bitter?
dead, right?
That's the younger blonde one. Not the youngest, but the one that was like, ew, icky. She hates the whole cast. I saw her on like Ricky Lake. She's like, I don't even want to be here. Everyone's like, why are you? But you think
Brady,
about
Maureen McCormick is who it is. Yeah, Marsha. Yeah, the Marsha actress.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
unhappy. Yeah, it's saying it's fueling critics of vaccines.
these people are crazy, dude. It's the old saying: it's easier to lie to somebody than to convince them they've been lied to. It's a crazy ass time, and we'll see what happens. I mean, when you have people like Kim Iverson coming out, Steven Crowder's come along on the Zionist stuff. It's like it's so insane to see that guy saying that because he was so Hamas, wow, dude, killed like when October 7th, he was just balls deep in that shit. See him starting to push back. It's really crazy.
Sam, that episode of Brady Bunch was 1969. The rate of autism in 1970 was 1 in 10,000. It's 1 in 36 now.
I mean, everybody, everywhere I go, my child is autistic. And everywhere I go, we just see it happening all the time. And it just sucks. It's just so sad. And the moms, I mean, do we want to say vaccines cause autism? Well, here's what I'll tell you. My cousin's son is like the first one in the immediate, I wouldn't say my extended family that had autism. And I would call my cousin when I found out my daughter had it. And we would be talking a lot. And she said he changed after he got the vaccine. And, I just want to say this. It's like, I think if you get a vaccine, doesn't mean you have autism. What it is like everybody's got a cup. And their cup is different sizes. Some are longer, some are deeper. And this is why they're hitting you with so many of these vaccines now, because they're like, we're going to fill that cup up. We're just going to fill it up, and we're going to hit you with all these vaccines because this will do it. And bang. This is why you see 1 in 36, because everybody's cup is filling up.
It's not fair to say, you can't say that that vaccines cause autism in every kid every time, because that's not true. It causes autism in some kids sometimes. But if you take a look at, you remember SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome?
Yeah.
You want to go take a look at the stats behind that? 79% of the kids that died from SIDS had a wellness visit within the last 48 hours with their doctors, and they had been administered vaccines.
We've all heard that the Amish have really low autism. Is that real? That would say that it has to be vaccine related.
Again,
it could be environmental too.
Yeah, I mean,
it could be it's a combination of all of it. And I had this conversation with our pediatrician when my daughter was born. He says, "What do you want to do on the vaccines?" I said, "We're not doing them." He said, "Okay." And I said, "Well, what are your thoughts on it?" He said, "Well, I think that it's one of these things." He said, "Think of it like this. Maybe you need 5 different ticks in order for autism to kick in. Let's say vaccines are one of them, but it could be environmental as well. It could be toxic pollutions that you've got in your house or whatever. It could be genetic predisposition to it. It could be a bunch of things. It could be 15 different things. And if you get 5 of them, boom, it triggers it. I go, okay, I understand. He said, so I think it's part of it, but I don't think it's the only thing. And I thought that was a pretty
courageous thing to say, because that
the pediatrician to say that, he didn't give us a hard time. That being said, when I moved and we moved to California, and I interviewed with pediatricians to see, like, we just moved here. Let's start with this first one. Let's see how we feel. And the very first question the guy said to me was, "Hey, how are we doing on the vaccines?" And I go, "Well, we're on a bit of a delayed schedule." And which is code for we're not doing it. And I swear to you, his response, he goes, "What, do you don't trust the government?" And I thought he was joking, and I started laughing, and I go, no. And he has his clipboard. He goes, "Well, at least now I know what I'm working with." And he wrote something down, and I just tapped my wife, and I go, "You know what? This is a bad fit.
Yeah.
We got to go." And we just walked out, and that was it. So taking that, and also on top of that, since we were talking about pediatricians, the pharmaceutical industry has a bonus system set up. If you're a pediatrician and you have at least 63% of your patients vaccinated, you're entitled to a bonus, which works out to about $400 per patient. No. And given that the average pediatrician has about 250 patients, that's $100,000 a year. That's a brand new Mercedes every year for doctors that decide that they're going to go ahead and make sure that all their kids
they have to hit that mark. They have to hit that mark, right?
And if I stayed with that pediatrician and we refused to do vaccines, I'm going to lower his rate. Therefore, I'm going to lower his possibility to get that bonus. So he wants me out of there anyway. So that is something that people need to realize. There is a financial component to this as well. Not to mention the doctors don't get educated on it in med school the way. I mean, we have deeper educations on vaccines than most of the pediatricians that you'll talk to. They just don't know anything,
can't tell you
especially if they've been doing it for 40 years. They don't take the time. They don't research it. They certainly aren't going to unpack, God, maybe my entire career has been a gigantic lie. I've harmed 10,000 children over the last 30 years. Maybe I should not give vaccines. That's a lot to unpack for some doctor, right? So what do you think he's going to do? He's going to say, "Oh, everything's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. You guys are conspiracy theorists with this," and be dismissive of it. But, listen, you tell that to the mothers that have had the lights go out of their children's eyes after they took them home from getting a round of MMR shots or a penta shot that has 5 different injections in it. It used to be that the number of injections that you would get back in the 60s was 5 doses. The number now is 73 and going up. So there's a problem here. It doesn't necessarily mean that vaccines are the cause of every single case of this, but it's undeniable that they're a contributing factor. It's provable.
And Charlie, when you said delay, I actually thought you were going to spread them out. As in spread the
That was what I told him.
Yeah, and exactly. He already knew where you were going with it. Instead of him asking you, "Hey, what do you mean? Are we going to spread them out?" No, he instantly was like, "Oh, you're not giving them to them."
I'm going to give her one vaccine every 1,000 years.
Yeah. So there's a guy he was doing stuff with Slow News Day, Steve, and which I'm going to be there. I forgot to do my dates, but I'll do them. Anyways, so he was telling me Riotcast. I don't see him at all on the internet. Hope he's okay. He was telling me that the reason why they want to bang your kid with a Hep B shot out of birth, like taking first breath, is because they botched so many circumcisions.
Oh boy!
That they're worried they're going to get something from that. So, and they can't tell you that, so they got to give it to girls too that have no chance of getting that, because then that would be like, "Oh, we're fucking up here."
It's also for plausible deniability too, because if you're a child and you only got one shot your entire life and you got autism, then you could bring a case. If you went through the VAERS court, you could conceivably bring a case and say, my child got autism from that one shot. But if you've had a dozen shots spaced out over 6 months, 12 months, whatever, and your child develops autism, and you go before a jury and you say, listen, it was caused by this one MMR shot, the defense will say, well, how can you prove that? Maybe it was the vitamin K shot. Maybe it was this. Maybe it was that. Maybe it was something else. So it muddies the water so that there's so many shots given within such a short span of time that you can't pin it on it. It's the Spider-Man meme with everybody's pointing at different people, right? So that's one of the legal ways in which they create a process where you can't even sue them for it. Not that you could after the 1986 Vaccine Protection Act, which created the Vaccine Adverse Effects Reporting System, the VAERS Court, otherwise known as the VAERS Court, which has even though you have to jump through flaming hoops to get any sort of money, they've still paid out $4.2 billion to settle vaccine-related claims. So, which is more than the Catholic Church has paid to settle rape claims, if you want to put that in perspective, and we know how big of a problem that is. So, and they claim, well, the stats show that of all the cases that go through, of all the damaged cases that wind up going through the VAERS Court, it only represents about 1% of the people who have actually been harmed. So there's no representation for people that have sick kids.
How many C-sections do you think the Amish are doing at home with their midwives? Yeah. Probably not very much. And I have a friend who's a midwife, and I mean, she was basically telling me that women have the power to deliver their own babies, and if you start doing that at home, you just sidestep all these problems and all the stress in the first place, doping the women up, getting them out of touch with their own bodies, and just feeling that pressure, and actually separating the father too from the birth. So all these things that are happening, which have really deep symbolic meanings to break the family apart, starting from the very first moment the baby is born.
Yeah, and think about the symbolism of, you have to, when you're born, you have to register with the government. You have to have paperwork on every person born on this patch of earth. Isn't that, it's just something, it kind of primes you for a life of government control. When you right at birth, got your little name down there, your parents' names, and your gender if you have one.
What do you think, Charlie, of this real ID that they're pushing right now? What is it that makes it?
Can't fly without it now.
So but I can fly with a passport though, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah,
you just can't fly with the California ID no more.
Yeah,
got to be a real.
Why is that? What is that? What does that mean? What does a real ID do that is everyone's freaking out so bad about it?
I don't have a real ID. I haven't had any sort of problems flying.
No.
I think it starts in May.
The real ID, so I think it's been a requirement. They've been pushing it back, and I've been trying to research this. And from what I can tell, it's a little NFC, near field communication chip, that's in the ID.
Oh.
I believe it has your picture in it, so they could scan it and they pull it up. And that's basically a digital ID on paper. So we're right there with these digital ID systems. And there's also
ID, but digital ID, we're totally fine
it's
with.
So crazy to me, the mental gymnastics that come along with this. It's like unbelievable to me.
You should have seen us coming back from an Acapulco this year. There were a bunch of us. We were all on the same flight, leaving Acapulco and going into Dallas. And when you clear customs, they put you through you got to take your shoes off and do the scanner and everything again. Everybody was opting out, and there was a huge line behind us because they didn't have enough TSA agents. So we were all making no, we're opting out. Do the pat down. Make them do the pat down. And as I was putting my shoes and putting my belt back on, walking away, one of the guys that was on our flight with us was back there, and I could see him just getting in a full blown shouting match with the TSA. They're like, "Sir, we're going to arrest you." He's like, "I know my rights. You can't arrest me for this. Get the fuck out of here!" And he's just screaming. I'm like, I better get on my way to my next flight.
Hakeem, did you have something to say about the real ID you were going to say?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say that it's just kind of a plan B for them if people don't go along with the digital ID, which is now it's here, right? Google Wallet, Apple Wallet. Now the TSA is accepting a digital version of your IDs in that system. I think it's like 6 states now that you can actually use your Google or Apple Wallet to show to a police officer if you get pulled over. So, we're only a few steps away. And I want to remind everyone, the software that Google and Apple Wallet is based on, they just roll it out to hundreds of millions of phones at once. So if we continue to use these phones, one day it'll just appear and digital ID will be there. And that's, now we're just one step away from a social credit score system. So it's pretty scary to see that.
Also, I'd like to remind people that when you go through the airport and the TSA guy asks for your license and your boarding pass and scans it and he says, look in that camera, you tell him, no, thank you, I opt out.
Yeah, you're allowed to opt out for sure.
And opt out, and don't go through the body scanners either. Make them do a hand pat down, and make them do the hand pat down right there in public. Make that guy get on his knees and grab your balls in front of everybody. I want that guy to go home and cry himself to sleep and say, I shouldn't have taken this shit job. By the way, when you get hired at the TSA, they give you a test. And you can remind the agents of it too. They won't like you very much, but it's true. They give you a test, and it's a little bit like golf. Low score wins. You don't want to score too high on the test. They won't hire you if you score too high on the test. It's also like taking the test to become a cop. If you score too high on it, they won't hire you.
Yep.
They want people that have no real life trajectory. They want somebody that's just smart enough to work the machines, as Carlin would say. And the reason for that is because they spend a lot of money to invest in training, and they don't want somebody to take that job and then 3 weeks later say, I am out of here. This is the worst job I've ever had. They want people to be desperate. That's why everybody who works at the TSA looks like they're dead in their eyes. You know what I mean? So you make them get on their knees and you make them grab your balls in front of it, and you do that, and you do it with a smile. I red-pilled the guy that was frisking me on my way to an Acapulco. He's like, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Acapulco. He goes, business or pleasure? And I said, well, actually business. He goes, what kind of business are you in that you get to go to Acapulco? I said, I'm an author. And I could have left it at that. I was just about to leave it at that. And then I go, I'm actually the MC of the largest anarchist conference in the world. And he's on his knees. Obviously I'm opting out. So he was saying to me, no judgment, no judgment. And he goes, really? And I said, yeah. And he goes, that sounds awesome. And there was part of me that wanted to stick my arm out and go, brother, come with me. I'll rescue you from this shit slave job that you've got right now. And there was another part of me that was like, no, I want this guy to think about that for the rest of the day. And then I want him to go to his boss and quit.
Yeah.
I just like to tell them I'm doing this because I love having my dick touched by strangers with uniforms.
So let me ask you something. So Trump wants to get rid of the TSA, or it seems like it. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think that looks like? What does that look like? Is that just making the airlines pay for the TSA people? Is that what that looks like?
Maybe it's going to be another Doge situation where they fire anyone you can actually talk to and try and hold accountable, and there's just going to be a bunch of machines in their place automatically taking pictures of you. So there won't be anything to opt out of. It's just a robot.
Yeah, I've seen that in Europe. Yeah, they have a lot of in some places in Europe now. It's all just automated. There's not even a person there.
Dude, I went to a concert and I wanted to go get a couple beers, and I was like, "Where's the cashier?" Like, just walk.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just walk, and they charged me. They charged me, and I was like, no, and they knew exactly what I bought. I was like, oh man, hopefully I get charged for Gatorade.
Right? Facial recognition.
Yeah.
Well, what you do is you either put your phone up to this thing, or you put your credit card in, and then anything you walk out with.
And you scan your card, so they already have your credit card. Just knows exactly where you're.
Steve Ballmer just built the most gorgeous arena for the Clippers, and you could either stay in line, show them your ID, or you can just take a picture of your face and literally walk right through. And
we're gonna give them all of this, dude. That
well, here's the thing, Johnny, and this is the only thing I'll push back on. They already have it.
Yeah.
Probably.
They have all of it, especially if you're on this show at any point. They have everything you've ever done.
People say they need consent, but we've already given it, and we're gonna keep giving it. It's. The convenience is so. It's so compelling, to us humans.
Well, there will be a point very soon in the future where it'll be the only way to get into sporting events. And I see what you guys are saying, but just on a spiritual note, I will not consent. I will rip UFC at home and just watch it that way, because I will never, I don't want to bolster these systems. And I think every individual action will matter. But I don't know. Did you guys hear that story about Madison Square Garden, they're doing facial recognition now. They recognize someone on the way in who was critical of, the founder of the venue. He had made a T-shirt, and they saw it, and they stopped him from entering. So it's like, opt in or not, they know you're doing the podcast, and maybe they'll kick you out eventually.
There's no bigger baby in the world than James Dolan. He's a spoiled brat, shitty ass band guy. Yeah,
the worst.
So for wearing, there we go. Of course.
Yeah.
So don't talk shit if you want to go see Tom Segura at the fuck Madison Square Garden, dude.
Well, I made that joke with the audience at Acapulco, like, hey, how many people it's your first time here? And half the audience raised their hands. Like, all right, you're all on a watch list now. Congratulations.
Enjoy it.
They know
fun.
where to
Hang
find
out
us.
with cool people. Yeah, that's it. I totally get that, man. It's,
but you still have to fight, because it's your moral obligation to be difficult, to fight back to the extent that you can, to always make it hard for them. Just throw sand in the gears, or as James Corbett would say, salt your information. He talks about this experience where all of a sudden one day he was getting like 1 million happy birthday emails from people. Hey, happy birthday. And what he was like, it's not my birthday. And he figured out what it was he put a fake birthday in Skype. And for whatever reason, it had it somewhere. So anybody that was connected to him thought it was his birthday and would message him. And he's like, no, this is, whenever I log into anything, I give them fake info to the extent that I can. So.
I do that on a ton of websites, and it's so funny because my fake age is still old as shit. And it's crazy. Yeah, man. I mean, it's interesting.
January 1st.
That's all I do, dude. All the time.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. January 1st and whatever year I want to pick, which I think would be somewhat realistic for people to believe, So I do it all, unless
when you're logging into Pornhub with your
maybe
fake.
Maybe already knows my data. Yeah, you always put January 1st. I'm like, damn, dog, that's pretty good.
I do one day.
Well, dude, if you put your data in on, if you put it in on OnlyFans, the girls will message you back. I get off on that.
Okay, hey, dog, I respect that, dude.
They have bots there now, by the way. The bots on Only, I saw, it was on YouTube. There was an interview, and apparently all of the popular OnlyFans people now just have a bot that replies to
like, how lazy are you that your job is to finger blast yourself, and you don't even want to take the time just to talk to the people
hundreds of guys
that allow you to.
They can't talk to all these guys. Now these guys all think they have a personal relationship with you now.
We're doomed, but
here's my Amazon wish list. Check that out.
It's unbelievable. And I believe so. One thing I wanted to talk about was about how the system creates the infrastructure, and then at some point they implode it for a new system that's slicker. A great example is MySpace with Facebook. Like, they wanted MySpace. He wouldn't give it to him. So they're like, we just got the slicker one. We're going to replace it, and we're going to implode MySpace. Well, the new thing is Pornhub versus OnlyFans. OnlyFans has come in. Pornhub is just getting murdered everywhere. Everywhere they go. A rabbi owns it who is just trying to teach people how to get around age laws, which is a weird thing to fucking openly speak at a conference. There's videos of the owner of Pornhub telling people how to get around age laws.
What do you mean? Like the login thing where you have to give your
that, or like the age of the people in the videos. Consent? I don't know. Either one is not good.
No, it's weird though. Yeah.
But then OnlyFans comes, and OnlyFans is even more what they want, because OnlyFans fits into this kind of destroying the divine feminine. You're convincing women that pornography is a noble profession. And I always tell women, if you think it's a noble profession, go to YouTube, look up porn star deaths, because there's guys who just put these reels together of all the adult film stars who have passed away and how they passed away. And it's literally OD, murder, suicide. OD, murder, and suicide. Every single one of them. Once in a while, you'll get some, we don't know how he died, or a heart attack or cancer. You'll get that. But everything is violent, sad endings because you're getting farther
It's
from
like being
God.
a professional wrestler. Just know, those guys all just die young. And
Yeah, but the professional wrestling fits into combat that men are built for. Pornography is spiritually crippling.
Sammy, I had my big Hollywood encounter was when I was valet parking cars. I one time valet parked Peter North's car.
Oh my God.
Wow. I was like, I don't know if I really want to sit in this car or not.
Long ropes, bro. Known for his long ropes. That guy was hitting 3-pointers before Steph Curry was. That guy was. That guy was. And it's it's like I did a show called The Naughty Show, and we had adult film stars in it, and then one of the biggest names decided she didn't want to do it anymore, and I just called her up to see if she wanted to do it, and she goes, "No, I don't want to do it, and I prefer if you don't hit me up anymore." So somewhere out there is Belladonna trying to act like she's a normal human being.
Yeah.
Walking amongst us.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that, savage who brought the space teeth fucking hot look into the world.
People inviting her to the batting cages all the time.
Yeah. I mean, and so that she had a kid. Somebody's kid is like,
Oh gosh,
the greatest to ever do it's offspring.
No, that's what I'm worried about.
Why? Your
all
kids?
the kids of OnlyFans moms, and the people be like, "Oh, dude, I jerked off to your mom. Have you seen your mom?"
Oh, yeah, that drives them crazy.
That's going to be a lot of kids that are going to go crazy with kids.
Well, and also look at what it does to the just humanity. The women who are jumping into OnlyFans are built like Vikings. They're meant to be mating with billionaires. Like the greatest of the greatest
NBA players.
Like they're meant to be getting with alphas. And now because of this job, unless you're like Anthony Edwards' baby's mama who just hit the gold mine, if you're not, the males in your life aren't of top ilk. So it's going to destroy the stock of humanity in this country.
Who I became friends with back when I was living in Vegas and I sold her a house was Houston. You remember the Houston 500?
The Houston 5, of course, dude. Back when that meant something, you were like, you're a savage. Now that's just...
I don't know. Is she boned 500 guys?
Yeah, that was it. Back when that number meant something.
Oh, yeah.
People are like, you're crazy. Now
it's like the old 3-point numbers. They've far been surpassed now, all the old 3-point records.
The chick who tried to do... I don't want to get too dirty on the show, but it's like one chick tried to do some crazy thing.
The world's biggest game bang is the Houston 620.
This other chick tried to do something, let's say, backdoor of that number.
I see.
And now she has to go get $6 million man. They have to rebuild it quicker, faster, stronger.
Just go get her ACL.
Yeah, she's on
put
the
back
IR.
together.
Gotta get that thing tightened up.
She's icing it down. She's
dear.
and it's just like who knows,
guys? Here's a question I'd like to pose to y'all. Is there any pathway for redemption of people who've gone down this arc and they regret it? They say you can't make a hoe into a housewife, but. Is there any point in trying? The Kali Yuga ended just a few days ago. Ended last week,
Nobody
right?
talked about it. You think that'd be a big deal? Nobody talked. Happy ending Kali Yuga, everybody.
Yeah, fuck yeah. We're there's no way we're gonna get more degenerate, more brain rotted than we are right now. It's on the way up, guys. So I want to hold out hope. I also want to pray to these people who sacrifice their bodies and just say, hey, it stops here. Let's try and relearn what it is to be human.
The biggest problem I have, and no, I think there is redemption. I think there's people who did it and they come back, they go, it was awful. I respect those people, and everyone makes mistakes. Some of us make mistakes in the dark. Some of us make mistakes on camera. And it just is what it is. And, as long as you're not murdering anybody or sexually taking sex from somebody in a rape, you can have redemption. I really do believe that. And you should be able to live a functional life. And, can you clean the slate totally? No. Belladonna will have to have that conversation. Whatever she becomes after that, she will have to have that conversation, and we'll see how she handles it. How she I believe in that. I think people should be allowed back. And I do believe that we're going to start leaving this low vibrational area or the end of the little season or whatever anyone believes, which is another argument for the little season. It kind of correlates with the end of the Kali Yuga, this kind of time where we're leaving this low density stuff. But I don't know how it can get more low density than people saying that children in Gaza aren't people. And they should be annihilated as well. That fat fuck in Florida that just got elected. Mm-hmm. I mean, how do you lose to that shape? If this guy doesn't even respect himself, how he's going to respect you? And that's what I would run on. I'm not going to die soon like this guy.
Hey, I heard Chris Christie, I think. That ended his career, just being the fat guy.
I don't know how that guy won after saying that people should go to jail for 5 years for saying spreading anti-Semitism.
Didn't Trump just, make it happen? He just gave him his personal recommendation.
He's compromised. Trump is owned by people that are allowing him, and it's just like this big demoralization campaign going on.
Here's an interesting thought too about Kali Yuga. There's this astrologer, I think his name is like BB something, but he had this really good article, and it was about kind of the metaphor of the forest fires in California, and how we are ending the Kali Yuga, but now we're in this period where we are going to be cleansed in a purifying fire. And so the fires in California were a perfect example of that, right? Burning through everything. But the things that were in alignment with God and with nature, like the, what's it called? It's like the Yogananda's sacred life. I forget the name of it, but essentially his center for spirituality, and the fire burned directly around that, right? So it's like you hold this frequency, and we're just watching this shit fall apart right now. That's kind of why the signal is so loud. They're so desperate right now, and we kind of just needs to hold strong and hold to our values and just watch it all fall apart. That's what I
agree. It gets hard to stay in that, but I agree with that wholeheartedly. I believe that the laws of the universe are bigger than the biggest, whoever you think it is. I don't think it's Klaus Schwab, but he seems to be presented as that. I think there's people that we don't even know about that are way bigger than him, and they just let him take all the arrows. But they're not bigger than the universe, in my humble opinion. Even if we had our last episode, these energy vampires from the 5D, if that's what you want to believe, they're not bigger than the universe. The universe is built on authenticity and love, and if you're not going that way, it's going to catch up with you. And I just think that's it. All these guys, like, I think it's systematic. It's a controlled demolition of America. But I also believe, like, what we've done to the Middle East, in particular the Iraq, and killing those 4 million people. You cannot. There we go. Your book. That's his book. Yeah, Charlie Robinson's book is Controlled Demolition
of the American Empire. By the way, it's out there.
But a lot of that is spiritually too, like what we did to Iraq and Afghanistan, and what we're doing in the nail and hammer countries is spiritually decay, and that's why I think our country is going through a spiritual decay. I mean, if you want to look at New York City, there's no bigger epicenter of decay than Wall Street. I mean, that is the center of the snake, and everything they're saying Cuomo is polling to lead to be the new mayor. Like, what? You can't save New York if that happens. There's no saving New York. If that guy gets back in the mayor after he killed all your grandparents, unbelievable. Guys,
you know why I love this show, Sam? What other show can you listen to where you talk about technology, vaccines, porn, and the Kali Yuga all in the same episode?
Let's not forget the phone.
Oh, yeah. Let's not forget the phone. One more time. Tell us about Bub Phone.
Boom, she's back. All right. So we're building this new parallel system, right? And this new system, it's not going to be based on these fat fucking technocrats with billions of dollars and a propaganda machine around them. It's going to be the mom and pops, the salt of the earth folk all around the world, raising the bar higher than these motherfuckers who pollute our food and who pollute businesses in different ways. And that's what we're doing at Above. This is a self-funded private company without any third parties, and we've built a whole suite of tools. I don't just have this phone here, which can do everything your old phone can. It can do it better. I mean, fuck, you could take a road trip around the United States without connecting to the internet. Here I've got Nashville pulled up here, and if I zoom out on the map, you'll see that Tennessee is highlighted in green.
That's incredible.
That's right. And so in the future, when this does goes to shit, you want to be prepared, right? You could have the entire map of the United States downloaded. You don't have to be connected to the internet. GPS is a passive protocol, right? And you can navigate. You actually can navigate. I did a tour of the United States with Derek Bros using a map like this. And so we really need to get smart, right? We have to be the warrior. We have to be the poet. We have to be the lover, and we also need to be the farmer. And so technology is an important part of that, because I need to hit you guys up when shit hits the fan.
Yeah. So you're saying Klaus Schwab says there's going to be a giant internet blackout. This phone should be fine. Is that what you're saying?
It will be fine for GPS, because they would have to take the GPS out of the air. The GPS, the satellites are constantly broadcasting using lower radio frequencies, like something, and I think it's like 1,000 megahertz, and your phone can pick up on that.
Wow.
So even if the cell grid is down, GPS satellites should work. I mean, it's possible they turn it off, but still, you have this badass map, and ahead of time, you can already pick all of your friends' houses. You can pick, places to forage berries, and you could save this map to your phone, have it completely offline, and share it with other people. And then this is going to be the future. This is the resistance. Instead of depending on Google Maps, we're going to be able to share these map files. At least that's one of the many visions here.
Well,
so this is.
I love your phone. I'm excited to look at it and tinker with it and use it. And so you have my number. We'll talk and get it going. Yeah. So that's so the website is abovephone.com. Check that out. Derek Bros is doing great work in the space, and I'm glad to see him and Ian Carroll talking. I think they're both important, and I would love for them both to be able to. Oh yeah, we got exclusive offer there.
Hey, can you switch back to me for a second, Johnny? I just wanted to show you abovephone.com/tinfoil hat. So there is a 10% off if you guys get more than one devices. I'm showing you this on a privacy laptop right now. You guys got 11 days to take advantage of this, but there's phones, there's laptops, there's even a tablet. So out of these phones, we've got the 7A and the 9. The major difference is the 9 is just better. It's newer. It's 2 years newer. You've got updates until after August 2031. So you'll fucking survive Agenda 2030 and all of that. You'll still be running.
Good.
Hell yeah. And then the laptops, these are Linux laptops. They can still run all the software you want it to use. They're compatible with Microsoft Office formats. Like over here, I've got this Excel sheet. This is actually an Excel sheet. Boom, there you go, formulas and all that bullshit. I do presentations on this. So it is compatible with what you would normally use at home. We have 3 different models. I recommend the Aluminum 6, but they're all really dope. They have all the same features, and they're all private, no connections to big tech. And when you are checking out, remember to get above Suite. It's this option right here at the bottom above Privacy Suite. That is our VPN, email, calendar, video conferencing, encrypted chat, internet phone number that you can use on your laptop and use on your phone. In fact, all of these, you could do the same thing. And a search engine that lets you search for multiple different search engines. So it's all of that shit together for $100 a year. So it's a really good deal. I want you guys to check it out. And whoever's interested, we'll hook you guys up with products, and we can chat more about it soon.
I'm in.
And they've got great customer service too. I can tell you firsthand, because I'm not tech savvy. And when I got my phone, they connected me with somebody that walked me through setting it up. So if you're like me and you're a little bit like timid of technology, you think you might break it, don't worry about it, man. They've got great customer service for things like that.
All right,
thank you, Charlie. Yeah, it's each device comes with a 45-minute call for free with a real person, not AI or OnlyFans agency.
Or an Indian
my guy
from
was
India.
Wizard. I got a guy named Wizard when I did mine.
Wow.
It's fantastic.
That's cool.
So and listen, with Activist Post, we're doing something similar, man. We're a small company. I didn't raise money. I used my own Bitcoin to buy this company. I did not take additional funds from somebody. I'm not beholden to anybody. It's me. I have a couple guys that are working with me on it. and we're all ideologically aligned. We're interested in making sure that people have the right information that they need to navigate this constantly changing world that we're living in. And hopefully, if you like it, bookmark it, share it with your friends.
Is there an email list, Charlie?
Yep. There's also an email list that you can get on. It should pop up like one of the first times you go there. After a certain time, it'll offer you my third book, Hypocrisy, for free in digital format. You can sign up, and we do get the email list that we're just getting up and running with that. So it'll be a nice way for us to continue to keep in touch with people, so that they so they know that that we're here, and we can feed them a weekly wrap up of. We're about to launch a weekly wrap up of the top stories of the top news stories each week. We'll put that out on a Sunday afternoon. Send it out to people.
So fantastic.
In Natural Blaze as well. If you're somebody that's interested in your health, or maybe you find these conversations interesting, you can go to naturalblaze.com and check out the articles that are up there. That website has been in existence for 14 years. The Activist Post website started 15 years ago, but we built a brand new one. So it's a little looks a little fresher. It's a little lighter, as they say. Works on your mobile device extremely well. So, and obviously macroaggressions. You guys know me. You know where to find me.
Hey Charlie, are you? What's your role?
Are you shredded like that, Charlie?
Are you publishing, or are you editing? Are you contributing? Are you getting bylines there? What's your role on the Activist Post?
I am the editor. I'm the DJ. I'm picking the music that everybody's going to listen to on the site. You know what I mean? I'm going through the articles. Independent Media Alliance, all their articles everybody gets tagged. You get your name in there and the publication that you write from. And also, if you're a member of the IMA, I put that on there as well. So if you're interested in searching through, you can just find the tags and pull it up that way. But I'm not writing currently, but I have written for Activist Post in the past. That's how I got to know the guys, was that I would submit articles to them, and they knew that I was the type of person who would maintain what they had built, take care of their baby, and not bastardize it and screw it up and sell out or anything like that. So I do have sponsors. I have sponsors inside each article that you read. There'll be a sponsor ad that'll pop up. I encourage you to click on it, because these sponsors are tailor-made for us. They're the type of brands, services, companies that you would want to do business with. I'm not taking Monsanto or McDonald's money. It's not happening. So if you like what you see, support the sponsors that are connected with it, because they're there for a reason.
Charlie, thank you, man. I love what you're doing. I've been reading the articles. Yeah, it's sustainable, which is what I really like to see. Because we're swimming upstream here, and I want to get connected and be a full sponsor. So I want to chat with you about that.
Fantastic. And one of the 8 categories that we have is solutions, because it's one thing to complain about all this stuff, and God knows we're great at it. But if you don't offer people solutions, then I think you're doing them a disservice. So there's articles in there that will help you unschool, homeschool, get off, save your technology, all kinds of things that will help you not just realize what's going on in this world, but then allow you the opportunity to take additional steps to extract yourself from it. So we're glad to have, we have fantastic sponsors. I couldn't be happier. So, I hope people will just bookmark it, just check it out, go there once a day, see what's up. I post, a dozen articles a day, different topics, but it's going to be, there's bound to be at least one article that people are interested every day.
All right, guys. Great show. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming on. Open door. Anytime you guys want to come on, let's break down the episode. All right, guys. What'd you think of the episode?
I want a phone.
You want a phone? I think we all want a phone. I should see if he'll give us all a phone. If he gave us one phone and we all got to use it for...
The studio phone?
No, we just passed it day by day. Everyone gets it for 3 days.
Yeah, it comes back from Sam and just covered in gunk like his laptop. Yeah.
Easy, Johnny.
How are you going to keep track of 3 phones, Sam? That's my real question.
Watch me.
Yeah, didn't you lose your phone like last week?
I don't like taking my social media phone out anymore because I don't want to lose it. So I think I'm just going to leave it at home. Unless
you're afraid of somebody seeing all your DMs?
No. It's just like You know, it's like all my social media is on there. If I lose that, I don't know how I'm going to get on there. Some of them I don't even have the passwords for anymore.
I'd be more worried about my crypto.
Yeah, I'm worried about both of them. So maybe I'll just leave both of those home.
Yeah.
And I won't have a phone. And you just, cuckoo, when you want
the above phone. The above phone will be the one you take.
Yeah,
out.
I'm down with it.
I love that idea of an offline map. You know, you can GPS without the
You know what
internet.
you should add to it? Talk to text. Where you just get walkie-talkie type thing. That way
I don't know if it has a radio in it. It would need a radio for that, but yeah, I guess that would.
That's the only thing left. But
cool.
hey, man, he's a good guy, dude.
As a kid,
Hakeem,
walkie-talkies
I
were
like
the
him.
best. Yeah, he was cool.
He was funny, dude. I made a joke about Indian and tech support. So you can call an Indian and actually talk to an Indian in America. He laughed. He thought it was funny. I wanted to get into some when we brought the Kali Yuga and why like India is so poor. And it's because the British Empire extracted all this wealth from them. Just extracted it, took it. Yeah, man. We're gonna get him. We're gonna have a social media. We're gonna have an affiliate with him. I think it's great. I'm glad they're doing it. And I think, like, dude, it was a great conversation.
Are you scared of open links when people send you links on Instagram or stuff because you might get hacked?
Yeah.
And I mean, we get sent a lot of shit. You get sent a lot of stuff. You're never kind of like not clicking that.
Nope, I don't click it. If I don't know you, I don't click it.
Yeah, there are programs or websites where you can. It's like a browser within a browser, so you can like paste it to see what it is. You know, I do that if it's something
Johnny does it with
Question.
hot chicks. Hey, click this if you want to see my nudes.
Well, dude, are you getting like weird texts just that are like kind of like you're in the mid conversation with somebody like, yeah, I can't make it, but I'll be there at 3.
I delete it and block it.
What do you think that is, though? What is that research gathering? Like, or are they trying to get you drawn into like a discussion and then they send you the Nigerian prince thing, or what do you think that is?
Probably.
Well, all that.
Yep.
I haven't heard. I keep waiting for that to turn out to be some kind of like they're mapping cell phones or something. You know, trying to figure out.
Probably yes.
Active numbers, like
Yep.
they find out you're an active number, then you go into a database that they sell for $1 billion.
I get it all the time. I get spam all the time.
That's why I worry about you or maybe Atib especially, who replies to all that shit. He must be on so many lists. By now.
Yeah, he care?
That's true. Yeah, it's probably half his day.
What are they gonna take from him? His room in his mom's house. Comes home, it's an Indian living in his room.
Not cool.
Okay. Great episode. Charlie is one of the best in the biz.
Yes, I love Charlie.
And a good guy. A very good guy.
He's like too good of a guy to be hanging out with us. Really.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing here? What are you doing? Oh, I'm just having fun. I've crushed in life. So I just wanted to come and hang out with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the charisma to pull off bald. I'll just say that about it.
Yeah.
Well, you got to have the right head.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things. Yeah.
When's the last you've gone bald before?
No.
So you don't know?
No, I mean, I shave my head. No, I mean,
well,
I could
look at. I'll Photoshop it later, and we can decide if. Just look at the screen now without your hat on. Okay, and I'll make that. I'll get a bald Tripoli later on.
Okay. All right, Johnny, you feel better about yourself?
We'll see. No, we'll just see how we'll let the people decide if you look good bald.
Okay, I respect.
Would you do it really shiny and short like Charlie's, or would you?
Depends on how I look.
Okay.
If I can go with a little bit, I might do that. But if it looks stupid, I'll take it all off and just own it. Like, I really want to go into wigger mode in my old age where I just go up in like fucking Kool-Aid.
Dreads?
No, just like Kool-Aid sweatsuits.
Well, you've been doing
with
that
big rapper glasses on and just not give a fuck.
You Flavor Flav over here?
Yeah, like Flavor Flav.
Basically, your Broken Sim attire is what you're saying.
Yeah, but just lean into it 24/7.
I could see you pulling it off. Yeah,
I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
Stick a fork in me. I'm done.
One guy, I wear.
I won't be right for all the chicks. I'll be right for the right chicks.
I wear some weird stuff here. Sometimes I had those big Charlotte Hornet shorts on the other day. I was walking in these like black guys in like a G-Wagon, rolled down the window. He said, "You must make some sick beats, huh?" And I was like, "Oh, that got me." Because I just had, I had like tennis shoes on, those stupid Charlotte Hornet shorts that are like big logo.
Yeah,
they just got me.
Man, Johnny, your sports teams are dying. Right now.
I
feel bad. I thought I was bad. You're way worse.
The best thing in my life is North Carolina football right now. That tells you.
But North Carolina basketball is only doing bad in comparison.
They're going to be
of what they've done before.
I mean, they already got a commitment today.
Guys, go samtripoli.com. Check out my dates. I'm going to be in, where are we? Nope, go
Hollywood. West Hollywood tonight.
I'm going to be in West Hollywood tonight, depending on when this comes out. On the 8th is one, I'm telling you, go see Comedy Cast while you can. Grab your tickets because it's not going to be around forever.
Don't say that.
It's, people have just.
Maybe monthly. Could be a month.
It is monthly.
I mean, I'm sorry,
every 3
yearly,
months,
I'm saying.
maybe. I don't know. Tacoma, Washington for the Tinfoil Hat Comedy Night with Eddie Bravo. And then Tacoma, the Friday and Saturday by myself. Burbank, the revival is back. Nothing but spitting truth.
I don't remember that. Is that the thing where you kind of sit on stage and talk or something?
Yep.
Okay. Well, did you do that before? I don't remember you doing that.
Yeah, I did do it before.
He would sit in the center and people were.
And I would just fight lesbians. And then I got fired because I'm saying how hot the waitresses' outfits were.
I was there. They were hot. I don't understand why anyone got upset.
The guy has them going around in literally lingerie, and I'm not supposed to say anything.
Oh, no, that's the rules now. That's what I was telling you about Hooters the other day.
It's such not a realistic way to live.
That's why Hooters doesn't work anymore, because people are trained not to comment on what other people look like now, and
so
it's
dumb.
Hooters.
I'll eat your butt.
The place is called Hooters.
Belford for one of the best clubs in the country. Bellflower, stand-up comedy club. And then, more dates coming. So go to samtripoli.com, grab them now. Let's see. Oh yeah. Premium content is fire right now. I'm working with some of the best people in the biz doing premium content. We're all doing swapcasts. Whatever this is one of the best conversations you'll ever hear in your life. I'm putting up 3 episodes a week if I can on samtripoli.com. You're getting more bang for your buck. I'm also putting 1 or 2 on Rockfin and then 1 on Substack and 1 on Locals, if those are where you want to hear me. And then talk about the Cash Daddy's Patreon.
Yeah, he's killing it, dude. How he's killing it. He's, the markets have been all over the place, and he is... Yeah, he's banked on Tesla a few times over the past week. Just because it's basically that stock moves on hype, and if you can kind of ride that wave, if you can have puts when it's going down and then calls when it's going up, you could make money on the same stock over and over again.
And if you got on the Patreon, he'll teach you how to do all that. That's why it's one of the best Patreons you'll ever be on. And Johnny and I will watch you make love if you really want us to.
Yeah.
Go down. Chaos Twins. Issue 2 is coming out soon, so grab your
Can't wait for that.
Yep. What else do we got? Wise Wolf Gold and Silver sponsor show. Oh, the new T-shirts. Look at that, dude. Bigfoot Project Bluebeam Bigfoot operation. One of the best shirts we've ever done. Those are all available. What else do we got? The Fuck Zuck is up there. Go grab that. Wise Wolf Gold and Silver, Rife Technology. Get your chakras lined up. He does that for you. Alkacure Hydrogen Brown Gas. That's fire. We're talking about living longer. There's no better way to do that than more hydrogen. Mineral King, Pat Meltich trying to get the toxins out of you and fix the soil. Check them out. And there's no better supplements out there than Chemical Free Body. I take them every day. Harley Ray, candles, crystals, sage, the best website you'll ever see. EMF rocks. You want to fight dirty electricity. It's a big part of why I think I'm going bald. It's because my brother isn't. And, the baldness isn't really in my family, but we'll see. Joel Staley, get in shape. I'll help you get in shape. Look at this guy. Who's MVP? Guy right here. Brain Supreme. Click it. Microdose like a champion. And then Prometheus if you want to get off. If you want to go decentralized. If you want to get off too. Anything else, guys?
Hit that like button, subscribe, and go check out the Telegram and go on We Don't Smoke the Same podcast we had Felipe Esparza on this week.
Yeah, check out Broken Sim. I think we're gonna have a big guest on coming up soon. It sounds like maybe I won't say it.
Which is very rare for you guys.
Yeah, it's a show where two dudes talk.
Yeah,
and
that's what
people
it is.
seem to like it
For some reason.
Yeah, it's we're at over 2,000 5-star reviews. Give us a 5-star review if you want. All right.
Yeah. Also, oh, real quick, Sam Tripoli on YouTube, almost at 150,000 subscribers.
Follow us on YouTube.
Check it out at Sam Tripoli on YouTube or youtube.com/Sam.
All right, guys. We'll see. Enjoy these highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim.
Terrence Howard has claimed to have solved the 3-body problem. Have you? He's so dramatic. Look, just watch. It's just really a parody of itself.
By the way, looking super Asian right now,
yeah, he
huh?
does. He does. Yeah. Look at the way he sets this up.
Johnny, will you do something? Will you play dun 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 like Chinese symbols behind it as he talks? Can you do that?
He does look super Asian. You're right. It's he's always kind of had like this. I guess he's gained some weight now, and he's
yeah, dude. He's like, I don't need to act anymore. I'm just over here doing math. Yeah, there we go. Let's hear it. Play it low, but let's hear it.
Just it just kills me. Like his whole setup. Like he makes a meal of it, dude.
Yeah.
Taking like a deep breath before he starts here.
For sure. Dude, we're about to get knowledge.
He's like, I did it, dude.
You did it.
March 20th, 2025.
Problem solved.
The eve of the spring equinox. This is a gift to the world on its birthday. Happy birthday. My friends,
dramatic.
My fellow seekers of truth, and all those who have ever gazed up at the stars and...
Is it possible to take somebody serious in FUBU?
I was actually thinking that's
Johnny, I saw a dude at the Palms this weekend.
You were in Vegas?
Yeah, we'll get into that.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
we'll get into that in a full-on Kool-Aid camouflage sweatsuit, and I was like, I never need to dress up again. If I can find out where that is, I will wear that to the end of time.
Who are you hiding from in that? What is that? What use is that camouflage? All right, back to Terrence Howard here. He's going to drop some knowledge.
I can hear the diabetes in his... I can just hear it. Bubbling.
Pondered the infinite dance of the cosmos. Today, we gather at the threshold of a new understanding. You see, for centuries, the 3-body problem, it has stood as an unsolvable enigma, a testament to the chaos that emerges when celestial bodies interact under the invisible hand of great gravity. And think, great minds from Newton to Poincare all wrestled with its unpredictable nature of the 3-body problem. And as a result, for centuries, chaos reigned. But today, on this equinox, this day of perfect balance, we unveil a solution. One that's not bound by the limitations of classical thought, but rather guided by the harmony of the universe itself.
Stop. Have we made this video better?
Spin geometry.
Oh, of course, with the Asian music in the background. Yeah, of course. It's
Dude, we made this shit rush hour.
Well, he's also got like what is that? Like the Mortal Kombat logo chain there or something? Or Game of Thrones maybe? Like House, what is that? The House of the Dragon thing?
Yeah. House of Roscoe Chicken and Waffles.
And of course the Howard comma. We present a model that transforms instability into resonance. Chaos.
To be clear, no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
By the way, still hasn't told us how he solved it.
No, I'm waiting.
Into order.
All I know is, Johnny, can I ask you, how many white chicks does he get with this? Answer, all of them. All of them.
The 3-body system into...
Oh, dude, the white chicks, when they hear that, they have no idea what he's talking about, but they're just very impressed.
Their panties just jump off.
Yeah,
they don't even try.
In fact, on the other side of the camera, it's like 5 hot white chicks just like shaking their head like, oh, Terrence, you're so smart.
It stabilizes orbits. It unveils the hidden rhythms of the cosmos.
He's so impressed with himself, dude.
This isn't just some academic achievement.
Also, what's that thing around him? What's that? He's got something tied around his head, though. What is that?
We perceive the so-called forces that govern our reality. From astrophysics to quantum mechanics, from celestial navigation to the very structure of the universe itself. This discovery here redefines what is possible.
That's great, Terrence. So just tell us what it is.
I mean,
now.
like,
Just
we're
tell
so
us.
dumb we won't even know. So just tell us.
Well, yeah, just tell us now. You did it, so just tell us.
And so, on this birthday of the Earth, this single moment of cosmic symmetry, we are going to release this knowledge freely to the world.
Oh, thank you.
Let this be the spark that illuminates a new path where no one has to.
That's a great view he's got there, by the way. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
someone's crushing it.
Malibu or something.
Black science pays well.
This is the dawn of
He's
a
got
new
all those
understanding.
patents, dude. He's rich.
Let us step forward together on March 20th, 2025.
That music, dude. Look, he's so pleased with himself, isn't he? Look
This
at
is the day
I did
the
it.
three-body enigma was solved.
Congratulations.
So there you go. That's Terrence Howard. What do you think about it? You think there's any chance he actually solved the three-body problem?
Why not? I would rather him solve it than anybody else.
Than anybody else?
Yeah.
What about your daughter?
Okay. Outside of my daughter, she's 5. She's playing Roblox and she just figures it out.
Yeah, she's like, Daddy, I figured out the three-body problem.
And I'd be like, damn, science.
If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, subscribe to Broken Simulation in your podcasting app or check us out at youtube.com/Sam Tripoli.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hack.